So then, if you follow the straight path, it takes you through different phases of your purification and success, but ultimately you achieve self-actualization or human excellence, right? And then you become one of those muflihun, the successful people, right? And what we have on the other hand, if you follow the opposite route, then you don't follow the guidance from the revelation, right? You don't reawaken your fitra, right? Then you're going down the slope. You're going the opposite direction, right? And then the more you go down this slope, then what happens? It decreases.
It decreases your tawakkul and iman.
So the more you go down, your tawakkul, your trust in Allah, and your belief in Allah and the Creator and whatever He has created and the revelation, it gradually decreases, right? Your tawakkul and iman is decreasing, but what does increase then?
Your defiance and disobedience towards Allah.
So what happens if you follow the wrong path and you don't follow the revelation and the guidance?
So it increases your defiance, disobedience, and indifference to sin.
So two things happen. Some things increase and some things decrease, right? You're going down the wrong path. So what does decrease?
Or your tawakkul and iman.
So tawakkul means your trust in Allah and your faith in Allah and His revelation and everything. They decrease, right? And what does increase?
Your defiance, your disobedience, and indifference to sin.
Yeah, so your defiance of Allah and whatever He has prescribed, and then your indifference to sin. You are totally indifferent. So that indifference increases. The more you come down this path, the more that indifference increases. And then what happens as a result? What else increases?
A lack of embarrassment.
So you don't feel embarrassed, right? Regardless of what you do, everything. You forget about embarrassment. In some cases, you'll do something wrong. What Allah has prescribed to do, you don't do that. And what He has prescribed not to do, you do that. And you feel proud of doing that, right? And then?
You lose fear of Allah.
Yeah.
And loss of knowledge.
Exactly, true knowledge, which can, the guidance, right? And that leads to? So all those elements, right? All those elements lead to depression. You might have some ambitions, you might have some dreams, right? You might have some goals, which are different than the goal of pleasing Allah and have success in the hereafter. So then, the more you go down this path, the more you're in search of fun and ignoring the guidance and everything. So Allah takes away, you get depressed, and then your ambitions and your goals and your motivation and whatever negativity that you were after, that goes away as well, right? So either you're incapable of enjoying those negative elements, or you are so depressed and you're so anxious and in such a bad mental state that you just can't pursue your dreams. And even if you, for instance, if you become a billionaire through wrong means, right, you would not enjoy that wealth, right? And then ultimately that leads to existential crisis, and that's mental illness, and that leads to
forgetting themselves.
So that's the opposite of, so if you're going this way on the straight path, you achieve self-actualization, you reach human excellence. But on the opposite end, what actually happens is that you forget yourself, and apparently to people it might be nothing, right? You forget yourself. What does that actually mean, right? So you forget yourself means you forget the purpose of your life. Your heart becomes like this, completely darkened. You don't get any guidance. And your life becomes constricted. Allah says, وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا, right? So those who don't remember Allah, right, and follow His guidance, then their life become constricted, right? And on the day of judgment, they'll be raised blind.